All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for One Ounce, episode 12. All
right. Mr. Johnson is tearing up the field. And that 0.03 seconds, it cannot be overturned by anything.
Exactly. Yep. Such certainty.
There is no such thing as a difference in human capabilities based on environmental factors or anything. It is rocket science.
Right, exactly. People perform always at their best 100% of the time, all the time, every time you observe them.
When Hyakupercento is thrown down, there's no questioning.
There's no questioning.
That's how it is.
Now we need to plan around the plan, around the plan, around the plan, around the plan, around the plan.
Take that Hyakupercento to
the grill.
I don't know what 0% is in Japanese, but yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the mind games upon mind games and the tricks upon tricks that Toua will have to pull in order to get past the Boogaboos, because their coach is actually quite smart, and they did nab a run off of Toua. And while you might say, oh, well, Toua needed to see that in order to actually do his thing, though, with regards to the owner, doesn't matter. That's a large amount that he's giving up in terms of money.
And I don't think he'll be able to do the thing that he did before, where it's just like, hey, let's just stall this game out and do a bunch of janky shit so that the game is null and void.
We're going to have to play a real game
I don't
here.
think so. Yeah.
And also, team's going to want to have him help out with regards to, having them win as well. So it can't just be a player-on-player contest or a player versus the other coach contest. It's all hanging in the balance. So,
everybody.
Yo, without further ado, let's get into this.
せいぜい得意になってろ。俺には見えたぜ。今のプレーで貴様の守備致命的欠陥がな。
さらに2球目。打った！あのバカ！レフトジョンソン、ものすごいスピードでこれを追う。
Caught him out. Wow.
All right.
There it is.
やっぱりだ。
特使、なんで勝手に打つんだ。
そうカリカリすんなよ。ゲッツーになったわけでなし、突っ立ってたってどうせ三振。何ケチなこと言ってんだボケ。入れ口軽くキャッチボールしてから受けてくれよ。
Yeah, we're gonna need to practice on this.
Yep.
特使がキャッチボールなんて。
Johnson run into the.
ストライク。バッターアウト。バガブーズ二宮ノーアウト一二塁のピンチを背負いましたが。
特使。
Maybe to hit it towards center so you can force a collision or something? Oh. Wait, what is he doing? Toua, what is your game here?
Oh.
Oh, no way. No way.
Wait.
To distract him?
Maybe. The tears streaming out his eyes. Oh my god.
Watch out!
Oh, no way.
Oh no.
Oh, that's so dirty, Toua.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's so dirty.
Not see something and twist your ankle while running or something like that, right? So he would have to pay really close attention to any warnings like that.
No, I
あいつ目を切ることができねえんだよ。俺は奴の守備位置がずっと気になってたんだ。あえてあんな後ろを守っていたと考えるのが自然だ。そしてそれはおそらくジョンソンの持つ守備の欠点を補うため。もちろんそれが何なのか俺にもわからなかったが、さっき打ったファールフライで見えたのさ。ところが。
So, can't break his line of sight.
また
What's
し
the
ても
reason
フェ
for
ンスに
that?
ぶつかった。
なるほど。フライが横や後方に飛んだ場合は、野手はボールから一旦目を
Yep,
切って
that's true.
落下点まで全力で行き、
Yeah.
もし打球が明らかにフェンス際に落ちる緩いフライだったら、一旦ボールから目を切り、フェンスとの距離を測ってから補給体勢を整え、後方のスペースを潰せば、目を切る必要はなくなるからな。
Okay, so it's not about momentum
富岡
then.
にレフトの左にフライを打ち上げるように言った。そして俺は キャッチボールを装い、
Yeah.
ファールグラウンドで奴がフライを取る瞬間を待った。
Mm-hmm.
ジョンソンにとってはわけないボールだったが、悪いことに奴は
This is such a dick move. I love it.
Yeah.
奴は思わず
Oh.
俺のこの声でフェンスを見てしまう。
Gotcha, because then he thinks he's closer to it
Then he actually is.
than he
Yeah.
actually is. Yeah. Okay.
結果は見ての通りだ。
ランナー二塁に残塁。しかしこの回リカオンズ逆転に
Yeah.
成
Yeah.
功しま
Good.
した。
Good. Good stuff.
2対
Alright.
1。
Cool.
まだまだ勝負は
The game has just begun. Okay.
逆転されたバガーブーズ。7回裏の攻撃はジョンソンからの打順です。
Charge.
さあこれがプロ初打席のジョンソン。どんなバッティングを見せてくれるのでしょうか。第9投げた。あとバントの構え。
Oh.
Are they planning to walk him?
読んでいた。いや意表ついたバントの構えでしたね、川戸さん。
タイム。
あと
Isn't there weird rules for bunts with regards to strikeouts?
You have to commit to the bunt in order for it to be a strike. If you pull it back the last second, it's not a strike.
ジョンソンはシーズンオフからバント練習ばかり積んできた。
Yeah, because he's so
バン
fast.
トだけなら今やどんな打者よりうまい。出塁を阻止するなど到底無理。
No, there's some weird defenses you can do.
ピッチャー第2球投げた。
Okay, where's it going?
ボールは前進守備の
Third baseman. Yep, that's the best call.
いやジョンソン速い。嘘だろ。
Wow!
That is crazy.
マジかよ。やべえ。あの足なら三塁まで行っちゃうんじゃ。その予感は的中する。
Yep. Yep, immediately.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
悠々セーフ。
Easily.
キャッチャー
Yep.
井出口セカンドに送球すらできない。なんとジョンソン3投。ふざけやがって。
Yep. Yep. Too
All
late.
right. Okay.
Now to bring Toua on.
Uh-huh.
告知です。
Okay.
満を持して特知登場だ。
The well prepared. I love this guy's still
ジョ
drinking.
ンソンにホームスチールを決められ、なんとそれを見たジョンソン逆に三塁ベースに戻る。
Oh.
極端にリードを
He can just tell that it wouldn't work.
しかしな、お前のその作戦はあくま
Yeah,
で
if they
ホーム
hit,
スチール
you know.
阻止でしかない。
He's
その
easily gonna
作戦に
score.
は決定的な欠陥がある。
Wide open there.
投げた。ここは一球外した。ジョンソン全く動けず。
No.
でもこれ
He's gonna intentionally make the bases be loaded,
や
isn't
ばい
he?
っすよ。ボール。
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
こ
Oh
れ
shit.
はいけません。
And this is great because it's so risky.
そして次の打者はバント校舎の
No, you
宮本
can't
です
bunt now.
Yeah,
さ
no.
あどうする特知。
最悪だ。
たまりかねたリカオンズ内野陣マウンドに集まります。
さあどうする特知よ。逃げてばかりいてもフォアボールで押し出し、勝負したところで源は確実にスクイズを決める。どっちにしてもこっちの勝ち。
注目の第1球。
Oh.
おい。
No way.
アウト。なんと隠し球。
No way.
ジョンソン
Holy shit.
Oh, that's so dirty.
三塁側に入
That's
っていたショート今井の
Oh, I love it. My god.
あれ実はみんな芝居だったんじゃ。
Oh, that's brilliant.
That is
打つ
incredible.
なら打つで、どこかで示し合わせる必要が。
I mean, it's Johnson's fault for.
Not like staying
Yeah.
off the base.
Yeah, yeah.
あの時すでに特知はジョンソンが三塁まで来ることを予期して隠し球の策に出た。そこから先は全て特知の作戦。
知ろうかよ。
Oh no, you're gonna
人
brag.
間が一番隙を作るとき、それは勝利を確信したときだ。 思い上がったな、シロウか。これはジョンソンの
Never
負け
use
じゃ
the
ねえ。
100%.
てめえの負けだ。
That is true. That is true. Uh-huh.
勝負は
This is a series,
ま
though.
だ終わっていない。
And the game still isn't
我々は
over.
9回にもう一度ジョンソンの打席を残している。
こんな一点差など何の優位にもならんよ。
ピッチャー小森大きく振りかぶって第1球投げた。ジョンソン初球からバント。
Okay.
前進守備のサードを取って一塁へ投げる。
Yep.
Damn! So, do you notice he waits longer? Because it's a left-handed pitcher, though?
Sure, okay.
面白いね。この回も特殊の泣き面を浮かべそうだ。いいじゃん、特殊。
Yeah. Yeah. What's cool is that from the fans' perspective, switching Toua out right here kind of feels like a really clever way to min-max actually Toua's effectiveness because you
Sure.
don't have to throw as many pitches.
Yep.
白岡監督のジョンソンのホームスチール 100% 成功の理論を聞かされれば打者勝負しかないやろな。
白岡監督が昨日の試合の後記者会見で述べたその理論と
Just to
は
remind everybody.
Yeah.
ジョンソンが大きなリードからホームに到達する
And that means that this is where it's gonna fall apart.
つまり特殊はジョンソンとの勝負を諦め打者との勝負に出たということですね。しかし次のバッターの小日向はバントがうまいですからね、川戸さん。
ノーアウトやから
Yeah,
いいんだ。ここは腹をくくるしかない。
そうだ。ここは打者との勝負にかけるしかない。
結局俺から逃げるのか。特地と。
Oh
Letting your
boy.
pride out.
Oh boy.
最高の勝負師と聞いていたが、とんだチキン野郎。
Can Toua
Do it.
be-
Do the knee lift fake.
何やらジョンソン
Do
は
it, Toua.
口を挑発しているようです
Do it.
無駄や無駄や。
勝負してやろうじゃねえか。
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Fuck yeah. Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
そうこなくちゃ。あのバカが勝ち目がないと思ってやけになったか。よし。
I feel like the owner needs to have a Pavlov's response with his laughing to losing money.
特地。
奴の言う通りさ。いつまでも逃げてたって始まらねえ。どこかで奴の足とは勝負。
Yeah, because we're gonna play more games with the Boogaboos.
That's true.
So let's do it.
特地の足が上がった。
Oh, yeah, I think.
They didn't show the knees.
Uh huh.
シロかよ。お前のその理屈には穴がある。
投げた。
Oh!
打者の足元。
Oh!
アウト。
Yep, yep. Didn't even
right.
touch it. Well done.
ジョンソンがホールイン
Well
ワン
done.
止めたの。
Holy shit! I'm gonna curious to see what happened there.
取り返したのは6億か。
Darn.
残りは15億4000万。
He's like, oh, but still a rush though.
Right.
Because he feels good because he's up a little bit more, you know.
Yep.
明日絶対ジョン
No,
ソン
he
は
will.
走ってこない。
甘いなお前。白岡の理論に穴があったように。
Yeah.
There's an
今日やった足元狙いにも穴
balls
は
in
ある。
ours, yeah.
白岡も明日はそれに気づくだろう。
なんだよその穴って。
バカ野郎。正捕手だろ。自分で考えろ。気だけは抜くなよ。明日は本当の勝負だ。
Okay.
Toua with
you
the sleight
slick
of
son of a
hand,
bitch.
the watch out,
Right.
all these dirty tricks.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
This, yeah, I love this stuff so much because yes, Toua is a badass, but he's a sneaky badass, and that's
Tricky badass.
exactly that's my favorite part about the mind games here is
Yep,
we get
yep.
to see him do things
Oh.
that are like so like uncouth that it's no one would think of them, right?
Yeah,
People
they're
would, like
yeah, they're so little and like they don't seem to have any immediate, potential bonus. But if you boil most of your problems down to, oh, we have one player in the other team that's giving us issue, we just
Figure
need
out
to,
that other player.
We just need to screw that player up.
Yep.
That's it.
There you go.
And we'll just win off of our batters, just doing a decent to better job than theirs are.
Right. And
Nice.
given that the team that they're up against here is really being carried by their coach and Johnson, it's something where we can have the conflict get a bit more complicated with
Yeah.
regards to Johnson and the stuff that he's doing and not
sure.
have it bogged down the rest of the game because that is the primary focus. You don't need to
Yeah.
worry about what other players are going to do. If you beat Johnson and the coach, then you win the game.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unfortunately, it's not as dynamic and interesting as the Mariners setup because they have players that can then interact with each other and thus also have more drama from that regard.
Right. In a lot of ways, this is Toa's best matchup because this is the closest thing to one-outs that he's had to deal with.
Exactly.
Since joining the Lycaons.
It's not one-outs in that he's facing off against the batters. It's one-outs in that he has to just play one person, basically.
Right. And that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
But he did give up a run. So
he gave up a 600 million yen run. Okay. I guess from Toa's perspective, he's like, oh, okay, I'll give up the one run. That's fine. This guy's good. I have to acknowledge game, you know? But if that's how he does it, and he tells me everything about how he does it, yeah, I can make everything back up with just outs that I'll make. So, all right, sweet.
And the owner, because he's a greedy bastard, and because he is still paying Toua quite a bit right now, he is going to keep putting Toua in, but he has learned, and so Toua wasn't able to just get a bunch of outs on the rest of the game to, make up for the one run.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't being put in that much. Cool.
Yeah, I'm really curious if he'll keep with this current strategy, because while I do think it's a pretty good one, the thing that I am really curious if anyone on his advisor group who's more of a baseball expert, because the owner knows baseball.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he knows about the kinds of things that can get into the dynamic of a pitcher and a base stealing runner, like a very commonly base stealing runner on third base. That's where a lot of mind games actually happen in real life baseball. It's just because the typical right-handed pitcher is staring down the person on third base. They're looking directly at each other. There's a lot of shit that can go down. So the idea that Toua had, the third base runner talking to him and trying to egg him on is a very, that's a very typical kind of baseball. It's bad form, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a very typical baseball experience because the pitcher can't look away from them.
Right. And even if it's not something where the person on third is planning to steal home, getting that leadoff say can still be incredibly helpful because then if a proper hit is, made, then they have, they can make home easy.
They can make home
easier.
Yep. A grounder is pretty much an automatic score if it goes slowly. If it's not one where it gets to the base, to the defender, basically quite quickly. But otherwise they would just have to trade basically the out for a score. That's something that's basically that. But because Toa's playing not a typical baseball game here,
right? He can't let there be scores at all.
No, not at all. All right, okay. First game down. I like that both sides upped each other.
Right.
But ultimately in this one, Toua really cleaned them out in that he employed multiple tactics, multiple tricks to basically make sure that Johnson never scored again. But not only that, the outfield thing is borderline, I would say foulable. That's the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, Toua, you're lucky that no umpires caught that.
Right.
Now, generally speaking, this is the other thing. You're not actually allowed to play catch in the actual foul line area.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be somewhere else.
It typically is.
Yeah.
It typically is. They have the actual box usually on the other side of the not the fence, but the side outside the foul box area, the foul line area. Where the pitcher and the catcher will go, run out there, and they'll just throw. And they'll just throw.
Right,
They'll
get some good practice in.
Yeah, they'll typically have a mock pitcher's kind of marked spot with a home plate so that they have the distance as well, so they can practice actually pitching and catching in that regard. But this felt like the kind of thing of where it's like, oh no, extra player on the field, you're throwing the ball. That felt like a thing of where I'm like, I don't know if that's actually legal in baseball.
Right, because theoretically, granted, these are professionals, so it wouldn't be likely to happen. But let's say Toua missed the throw. Oh no, it goes out in front of Johnson. He trips on the ball, breaks his leg or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Oh, our bad. We didn't mean to do that. theoretically that kind of stuff could happen, so you'd think it would be safeguarded against. But okay, cool. But one of the things that I love about how Toua ended up cleaning house with Johnson and the Boogaboo's team is that they were things that aren't duplicatable.
You can't do them again necessarily.
Right. A lot of the times when Toua does stuff, he's in the head of the person, and he's just playing such good mind games that it's he's always 3 steps ahead of them, right?
Right.
But with stuff like that, that's where he pulled out specific things that he could trick them with that they are absolutely going to be looking out for in the future. So while I think that he could have other cards up his sleeve that he tries to pull out and use on them.
Yeah, his mind games really didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, like you got to come up with something else for the future games. And that's a great way to keep us on our toes, because this was still a game where Johnson got a run in on Toua, right?
Right.
So if it's even harder in the future games, like Toua was saying, the real game starts here.
Will be,
then what happens? Will we see a point where Toua is actually in the red? You know, like we could. If he lets in 2 more runs, that's all it'll take.
Right.
You know, so
the terrifying thing was also for me, they put the fielders into a bunt position defense, which is absolutely a thing. Like, that is absolutely a thing. Now, maybe the distance that they walked in was a bit extreme because Johnson's speed is a bit ridiculous and extreme, and he's also not a typical baseball player either. So, you know, that could be realistic, But the fact that they still couldn't throw him out at first is a testament really to the leadoff skill that Johnson has upon bunting. You can cross, like, you can step out basically as fast as possible if you want of the batter's box if you want once the pitch has been thrown, basically. So once he's done that, he's already running basically to get his momentum going.
So that as soon as the bunt happens,
as soon as the contact happens, he might be already deadening it, and he's still running. So the bat is trailing behind him, and then he lets it go, and then he drops it, and he's already going. But it's a way that I remember when I was doing bunting practice, it was a way to counteract for the fact that when I was small, I could still get a lot of distance off home plate and actually get a chance of being able to make it to first base, despite being, you know, a kid, basically.
Right.
And, you know, if you bunt in, like, your teens or, like, your tweens, basically, there's almost no chance that you get to first base before being thrown off.
Right.
So it's more of a thing of where, no, you have third baseman steal home right when the bunt is going, and you just make sure you don't foul it. Yeah.
Right.
Because then they have to go back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
There's weird bunt rules though.
But theoretically, if not for the bunting, first base would have been the easiest place to get Johnson out because he has to go to first. 1,
he's committed.
It's a
can't
force.
Go back. Yeah.
Right. But 2, the stuff you're talking about is the only kind of leading off that he could do. He can't do the usual stuff with the other bases where he gets 10, 12 feet off the base.
Yeah, it's the longest distance he has to traverse.
Right.
And also, everybody else can react accordingly. Once the bunt goes up, those players that are ready there and waiting can start bouncing on their feet, and then they can make that step in. They can basically get so low to the ground that they're ready to release it off of like a sidearm bit, and they can send it without even fully
like immediately
extending
after
their
catching
legs.
it.
Oh yeah, like professional baseball players, it's crazy how quick getting a ball, receiving it, and sending it to first base is like it's in their blood, basically.
Right, because that's probably one of the, like, other than...
Oh, they've done it 10,000 times.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So many times.
Like, the whole point that you catch the ball is so that then you can throw it to first, you know, most of the time.
Yeah, I've seen third basemen get really up there on the bunt and release the ball with basically almost like a submarine throw, where they're releasing it almost like underhanded because there's so much immediate, like, release off of just the catch bit there, bringing it up, and it basically does this like crazy arc because of the backspin. Like, it's so fast that the ball basically goes like that.
Right, because it's not just throwing it quick. It's not just throwing it soon after you catch it.
Right.
It's throwing it accurately and with enough speed.
Enough speed. That's the crazy part. Yeah. Because you think about how fast a pitch is thrown, right?
Right.
And pitches can throw, 90 plus minus miles per hour, what have you, in the professional scene. But then just a first or second, third baseman or what have you, releasing it probably like 82 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour, but going over a much shorter distance,
Sure.
So, yeah, maybe not that fast, but, sometimes. I've seen third basemen basically where they'll get the ball and they'll like explode with a can with the ball going over their head and it's like, poof, and they just beat a runner going all the way to first. It's like,
yeah,
how did you do that?
There's a reason.
So good.
There's a reason why in baseball at the professional scene, it's such a low scoring game.
Yes,
because, and that's why the pitchers get paid so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But all right, Toua, first game of the series done.
Good job.
I love
luck.
how much he's working with his team.
Yeah.
The catcher, third baseman, shortstop. Just keep this up.
Yep.
There's more of you than there are of Johnson. Johnson is one runner right now.
Yep. And he
long...
is by himself when he's out there. Like even if he has some other people like on the other bases, that actually just makes his job harder. So
True. Yeah. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.